Hey everybody, this is Courtney with Pieces Love and Quilting. I am here to do the foundation paper piecing apple. So we'll wait for a few people to come in and then we will get started. I know I started a little early, so I am hoping you are all having a wonderful Friday. And I hope you have an amazing plans for the weekend, as I am trying to do a lot of stuff. So I hope you guys are doing wonderful. I'm hoping that you guys are ready to do the foundation paper piecing apple, because I have about 2 extra copies here. Somehow I accidentally made 3 copies, but it's all right. The more copies you have, the more samples you can do. Here are the pieces I've already cut out so that you can go ahead and pre-crease. I do want to give you guys a heads up for the next following one, but I want to make sure we can get a few more people in. So next week we will be working on Megan David, which will be in my description box below in the Google Drive. So I hope you guys enjoy. So we're going to go ahead and at least get a little started so that you guys can see the fabrics I've chose. So the pieces are in 3 separate pieces, so don't get confused. Hi, Sandra. So I'm going to show you what color fabric I decided to go with. I have a sparkly white fabric, a red, of course. Got to make sure you have red apples, or you could have green. It don't matter. And then green for the leaf, and then a brown for the stem. Hello, Kim. So I'm going to go ahead, and typically most of your foundation paper piecings will be in alphabetical order, and then you will be doing it from, so like this says A, B, C, you can go from A, and then A, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I hope that makes sense. So I'm going to go ahead and start. The other things you need is glue, because washable glue. Make sure it's washable. A ruler that has a 1/4 inch on it, a rotary cutter, and some fabric scissors so that you can cut the fabric. Alright, the first one's white. If you need to, you can always write on here what color goes where, but most of the time if somebody's printing color, I will always make sure I'm printing that color. And I check to make sure it's big enough. I hope you guys are having a wonderful Friday, as I am ready for the weekend. And you do need your iron. You can have your iron or you can be without it. It's your choice. And instead of having to pick this cutting mat, or the iron board, excuse me, if I can get my words right, always bring up your small cutting mat, because it will always be your best friends on it. I'm going to scoot up a little bit more. Alright, and now we're going to trim. You always trim on a 1/4 inch. You can use this or you can get an adult quarter. Hello, darling. And let's get, and we're going to do the apple. And sometimes you can save these pieces, but it looks like I'll have a couple that I can use those for. Uh-oh, I hope you get feeling better on that. And then we're going to go to green. And a big square. I will take a few minutes and I will be right back. I do apologize. I had to take care of something. There's no oops. I had to take care of a private thing. So now we're going to go to piecing the green onto the white. Yep. And silly me, I forgot to change the stitch thing from putting a quilt on the stitch leaders, and I forgot to change those back. Yeah, I just had to take care of something and then I'm back. Alright. Let's go over here. We're going to go ahead and press this. And then we'll go back to white. Since it's a small piece, you can always use these little pieces that you cut off. And then we're going to go over the sewing machine. Any questions that you need help with? And then we go on, if I can remember to keep changing the camera. And then we're going to go ahead and trim it down 1/4 inch, if I could think of my words today. And these tiny pieces, there's no way it will work. And now we're on the next 4th spot, which is the brown. So I'm going to grab some brown fabric. Hello, Dora Lynn. And hi, Suzanne. So we're working on the apple. So what I'm doing is not pre-cutting because I don't like to do that. I wait until I need them. So I hope you guys are having a wonderful Friday. I know normally I go at 1 in the afternoon, but things have changed for the momentarily for today. Just enjoy your day, Dorlin. Everybody, please enjoy your Fridays. And it's kind of, how do I put it? Yes, FPP is patience and everything, but you also, it's kind of a repetitive motion as you go through it. And now we're back to the white fabric. And the only reason sometimes I use bigger pieces just to make sure I cover the whole base. And the only reason I kind of give a tiny trim to make a straight edge so that it can match it with the previous. And of course I keep dropping my pieces. So this one, we only have one more on this first piece, and then we got 2 sections left. And even if you have some pieces that are odd shaped like this, you could probably use it somewhere else. But unlike me, I have a brown piece one more time and then the rest is all white. But you can always make changes and do the different colors in what you want. And I don't know if the Google Drive is in my description box. If not, I will fix it after the live. So here's what it looks like so far. So anybody working on projects or following along with this one, anything I can help you with that you might have questions for? Okay, Dorlyn, you rest. We'll see you next time. I will be back on next Thursday as well. Unless I have some nights that I can't sleep, you might get to see Late Night Courtney. So here's the top of the apple, and then we're going to work on the next piece. And we're going to sew this piece to it. Now we got the red part coming in. But as long as I will say, as long as you be patient and do it as a slow process, I know it seems too slow, but at the same time, you're allowing yourself to see the progress you make. I know you all are. I'm just trying to make sure you guys know that I'm still trying. But at the same time, the process can seem too slow, and some people are not very patient about it. But at the same time, if you do become very patient, you'll know that it will turn out into a beautiful block. Now we're back to the white blocks. Thank you. I actually got that from Walmart. Surprisingly, they had really good fabrics this time. Sometimes they don't. And then we're going to go sew this piece. what I'm doing is making sure I cover that paper. And we got one more slot on this, and then we have about 6 on this one, and then we'll be done and piecing it together. I know I seem a little bit slow at talking about it, but I want to make sure you guys all understand how easy it can be as a project. I'm going to go over here and sew it. But you got to remember to sew directly on the line, not against the line. Because I prefer to sew through the paper so I know that the fabric isn't going to shift on me. And I use copy paper, freezer paper. Those are about the 2 main ones I use a lot. A lot of others that do FPP use newsprint paper. You can use that as well. I use that on the Legit kit. Hi, So Terry. That I still need to finish the muscle car for. So here is the first part of our apple. So we're at the last part of our apple. And always make sure you have glue, washable glue with you. And I'm going to go ahead and put that piece on. And we're going to go ahead and sew it. And then we can piece together our apple afterwards. Which somehow I ended up piecing a fabric over on fabric. Even though nobody's going to know, but I would rather that to lay flat. Because I'll tell you, most of the time, if I have an issue, if it's too short, I will just sew another piece to that exact fabric to make it cut to the point that you guys have it on hand. So that you're not having to take the whole thing out, you're just having to make sure. I'm only cutting a big piece. I don't mind cutting big pieces because most of the time whatever's left of small pieces will go into my puppy's bed. Alright, let's go sew this together. Make sure your fabric is laying flat. Now we're going to trim up and all that. Thank you, Kim. Walmart had it. I don't know if they still do. Normally, I go to Joann's, but Joann's is about 45 minutes from here. So, I don't like to spend that long driving. I'm going to go sew that piece. We only have 2 more pieces to sew. And then we can piece them together. Make sure you're going in start with alphabetical and then numerical. If somebody wrote a pattern and it starts with numerical then alphabetical, then you'll do the opposite. And then we have 1 more piece after this, and then we'll start piecing our apple into 1 piece. Last piece, and then we're ready for the put together. I'm going to lay these 2 out so you guys can see it. And then we're going to go to the sewing machine on this one. And we're going to trim these down. And here we go. I'm going to go ahead and put the apples together first. And always make sure you have your clips and your pens. Because those are my two favorite things. I use the pins to match the corners. And then I'll use the others for everything else to make sure it stays in place. I'm going to go ahead and sew these two together. And you sew directly on the line. Now I'm going to take out the paper. Press it down. You can press it open. You can press it closed. However you like. Most people will tell you to press open because that's how we learned. There's our apple, and let's put our tree stump on. Alright. Last piece. This block comes out to be 6 by 6. We're going to have all different size blocks because we might put sash in. We might add it to each other. Alright, there's the bump apple. You're welcome. I'm going to go ahead and pop out the paper. Ouch. I've been feeling the weather changing on me a lot lately, but I've been trying to push through so I can get a lot of things done. You can't pop your paper out like I am. You can always use a seam ripper to pop it out. Just be careful you're not touching the seams with it. Or you can put water. You can leave the paper in till we finish, or you can take it out because it doesn't matter, because we're going to have all different size blocks in this quilt. And we're going to go ahead and press it. I didn't mean for that. Here's your little apple. One camera. I hope you enjoyed. Here's our apple as we finished. I hope to see you all next week. But a reminder, be unique, be you, be kind. Until then, I hope you enjoy.